The story of Nehemiah begins many years after the people of Israel had been carried away into exile. Jerusalem, once the proud city of David, had been conquered and its great walls torn down. The temple had been burned, its gates reduced to ashes. Though some of the Jewish people had returned to the land, the city still lay in shame, its walls broken, its protection gone, and its people living in fear of enemies all around. Far away, in the citadel of Susa in Persia, lived a man named Nehemiah. He was not a prophet or a priest. He was not a warrior or a king. Nehemiah was a servant, working as the cupbearer to King Artaxerxes. His duty was to bring wine to the king, to guard against poison, and to stand close by in the royal palace. Yet though his work seemed humble, God had placed him there for a great purpose. One day, Nehemiah's brother Hanani arrived from Judah with other men. Nehemiah, with deep concern for his homeland, asked them about Jerusalem and the people who had returned there. Their answer struck him like a sword. Those who survived the exile are in great trouble and disgrace. The wall of Jerusalem is broken down, and its gates have been burned with fire. At this news, Nehemiah's heart sank. He sat down, weeping for his people and for the city of God. For days he mourned, he fasted, and he prayed to the Lord, pouring out his soul. O Lord, God of heaven, Nehemiah prayed, the great and awesome God who keeps his covenant of love with those who love him and obey his commands. Let your ear be attentive and your eyes open to hear the prayer your servant is praying before you day and night. We have sinned against you. We have turned away, but remember the words you gave through Moses. If you return to me, I will gather you from the nations and bring you back to the place I have chosen as a dwelling for my name. O Lord, grant your servant success today as I go before the king. And so Nehemiah, burdened with sorrow yet filled with faith, prepared for a moment that would change his life, and the future of Jerusalem. Days passed after Nehemiah's prayer, but the sorrow on his face did not fade. Though he tried to serve the king with joy, his heart remained heavy with the ruins of Jerusalem. One day, as he stood before King Artaxerxes, offering the royal cup, the king looked at him closely. "Why does your face look so sad when you are not ill?" the king asked. "This can be nothing but sadness of heart." Nehemiah trembled. To appear sad before the Persian king could be dangerous. It might be taken as disrespect. But this was the moment he had prayed for. So Nehemiah whispered a prayer to the God of heaven and spoke. "If it pleases the king," he said with trembling voice, "and if your servant has found favor in your sight, let him send me to Judah, to the city where my ancestors are buried, so that I can rebuild it." The king was silent for a moment, then asked, "How long will your journey take, and when will you return?" Nehemiah answered carefully, giving the king some time. Then, courage growing within him, he added another request. "If it pleases the king, may I have letters to the governors beyond the river, so that they will grant me safe passage until I reach Judah, and may I also have a letter to the keeper of the royal forests, so he will give me timber for the gates and for the walls of the city." And the king granted everything he asked, because the gracious hand of God was upon him. So Nehemiah set out for Jerusalem, riding with officers and soldiers the king had provided. What began as a broken heart in a faraway palace was now a mission from heaven, to rebuild what had been destroyed, and to restore the honor of God's people.